I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sense
What the hell's going on, people? This is Periodik, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle in order to rank all these legendary rare characters in the game for the month of December. Of course, these are summonable LRs, both Legendary Banner and Dokkan Festival banners. As you can see, the two that we are leaving out are the Turles Army and the LR Jiren. As of this video, they are JP only. And unless if Global decides to drop it this month in the data download that's currently going on. So let's start off with some ground rules. Number one, this is not going to be the most detailed list in the world, because if it was, it would honestly be 4 hours long. So I'm just going to give pro, con, why they're in that tier, and then keep it pushing. Also, this is opinion only. Obviously, I can't try out every unit of the game in every single possible team combination with, full level links, all that stuff. So I'm just going based off of my personal experience with the characters and watching videos and things of that nature, and just using my, 5 years of knowledge of this game to kind of make an assessment. With that said, let's start off. As you can see, there's a ton of different tiers, starting at the bottom, going all the way to the top. Every LR in this game is good. There's just different levels, if that makes sense. So let's start off with the bottom. LR Broly. LR Strength Broly, definitely at the bottom. Simple reason why is he's the only, LR in the game for summonable that gives himself a passive that is fully, I say that again, fully flat stats and not percentage base increase. That is both a gift and a curse. The reason why is it a curse is, well, I'll go on a gift first. So the gift for that is the fact that he negates his defense, I think by like 20,000 or something like that, when he super attacks. Now the problem is that he's negating his defense. The good thing is now with characters that give percentage-based support and higher leader skill, that flat amount that he negates his defense by or lowers his defense by is not that big of a deal anymore, because his defense is climbing with these 150% leads, 170% leads, these passives that are going from 30% to 40% to 50% to 70% defense, right? So getting 20,000 defense or 40,000, whatever his defense, debuff is, not that big of a deal. It works the other way though. His attack is like 80,000, I believe he increases his attack by. That is also not going to really change that much with the percentage-based supports percentage-based leaders. So it's both a gift and a cursed, hence why he is in the Master Roshi tier. Still one of the best units for World Tournament, by the way. Another unit that is, let's just be honest, he's a coin flip character, is LR Trunks and Goten. He's the only LR in the game that actively lowers his attack. If you're not getting that 18 key super attack, you have a chance of lowering on the 12 key, which is just bad. It's bad for business. Now, he does randomly give himself key, so he can get 18 key, but that's the problem. He's a coin flip character. There can be turns where you just do a 12 key, lower your own attack, do no type of damage. He's got no type of defense, and he just gets absolutely wrecked as an LR. That's not acceptable. Hence why he is in this Master Roshi tier. The other characters on the Kami tier are very similar in regards of having no defense, but these guys don't lower their attack. You have the LR Intelligence Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. He effectively was replaced. The first LR that was replaced by another LR with the same name. This man does mega colossal damage on his 12 and 18 key, which is great, and he gets a significant amount of attack for every orb he gets, and he gains more ki for every orb he gets. Unfortunately, that does not equate to defense. I think in links, he gets like 20 or 30% defense, which is just not enough in this day and age. He gets hit way too hard, and he's been replaced. So there's that. We're still waiting for his EZA maybe next year. Another guy that kind of falls in that same boat where he gets hit very, very hard, but does a lot of damage is this LR Majin Vegeta. This man can hit extremely hard. Mega Colossal on the 12 key, which is very interesting. And then 18 key is the one that does colossal damage, but it's an AoE, which is fine. Again, just gets absolutely slapped up, clapped up, trapped up, but he's able to do good damage, and he's got pretty good links, so he's going to stay in the Kami tier. And then last but not least, we're going to put this Super Saiyan 3 Lrui Goku. Now, the reason why he's in this Kami tier is because he can do phenomenal damage as long as you build a team around him, give him orb changers, things like that. But if you do the 12 key, then he has some defense, 70% defense. Not terrible, not great either, but he can at least be somewhat tanky since he has his LR stats, and then he's got that defensive boost, whereas the other two just really have no defense of any kind. And this Goku can hit really, really hard. So that's, I'm going to say all three of them kind of average out to be all significant on this Kami tier. Let's move on up. King Yamateer, one of the only LRs in the game to be replaced by a TUR. So we have the LR physical Bardock, who's a jack of all trade, master of none. He's good defensively, good offensively, and then that's about it. He can't really do insane amounts of damage, and he can't really tank insane amounts of damage either, but he's good to fill a spot on a team. He's a good all-around average unit. Of course, his TUR, Bardock, is much better because he just does more things, the AGL transforming one. Once he turns Super Saiyan, he's actually insane if he's facing like the Wicked Bloodline type characters, Frieza and whatnot. But this physical one, not bad. Another unit who is, well, I'd say better than not bad, but we're going to put him in the King Yamateer, is this LR Physical Trunks. Sometimes I rate him higher, but I'm going to put him down in the King Yamateer. Now, the great thing about him is the fact that he has that 50% chance to crit. Absolutely insane. He does have some form of defense on his super attack, but it only stacks for like minimal amounts of turns. I think 3 turns, and then the 18 key I think does 6 turns. But honestly, it just doesn't feel like he does it enough. I feel like it's not enough. It's kind of like the Strange Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? He also does the same thing, but it just, you don't have enough stacking for it to matter. You still get hit insanely hard. So I'm going to have him on the King Yamateer. They're still good. Don't get me wrong. They're still very, very good. Another unit who's very, very good, but I just don't feel like he's good enough to be higher. Whoopsie. Goodness gracious, no. It's this guy. Strength, Trunks, and Mai, I do believe deserve to be on the King Yamateer for the fact that they need to have certain units to be strong, right? They need the time travelers. They rely on time travelers. And you know, in actuality, you have to have future, or you have to have super units that are time travelers for them to be good. And their whole thing is to stun, right? They kind of remind me of a better version of Tech Hit, where they're really into stunning their opponent. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of events out here that are immune to stun, so you can't really do anything with them. And that's why I put them on the King Yamateer. Next up, King Kai tier. We're moving on up in the world. The GT Trio. GT Trio, very, very limited team, unfortunately. Very limited to Dragon Ball Seekers. You can't really run them on any other category, but if you find a good little team to put them on, youth or whatever it is, they activate those links. They're able to get those 18 key super attacks. They can do phenomenal damage and be somewhat good defensively. But again, they are very limited. Once more GT units come out, once more youth unit comes out, once more Dragon Ball Seeker units come out, then I think they will be in a better spot. Speaking about Dragon Ball Seekers, a unit that should have been on Dragon Ball Seekers, but for whatever reason aren't. Diabolical Villains. Inhuman Deeds. You got the Vegeta and the Nappa there. I've wanted this LR to come out for such a long time, and when they came out, unfortunately, they were a little bit underwhelming. The thing is that once you transform into Vegeta, absolutely disastrous, just a monster of a unit. When you're in the Nappa form, you're pretty good, but just wonky. Like, it's just like a hodgepodge of passive wrapped into an active skill from like different things. It just doesn't make sense. The kit really doesn't work together. The fact that you're gaining like flat attack on some of these, it just is like, was this supposed to be a world tournament LR? And then, not to mention, the passive makes it so, you know, when you dodge, you get stronger essentially, but it's an AGL unit. and you have no dodge in the kit. Now, the passive or the active skill makes it so you have that guaranteed dodge for 1 turn, but then you lower your own attack. So you invalidate yourself. I love LRs that fix their own weaknesses. This guy gives himself a weakness. It makes no sense. So I'm kind of confused why they set up the Vegeta Nappa like they did, or the Nappa like they did, because the Vegeta's top tier. The Vegeta, if it was just the Vegeta by himself, he'd probably be up here somewhere. But with the Nappa, he's going to be down here. That doesn't mean that they're not good. And case in point with the Beerus and Whis. Beerus and Whis, very strong, hit insanely hard. Unfortunately, their link set is very limited. You have to be next to a Beerus, whether the tech one or the physical one. You have to be next to a Guide Angel, either the Strength Whis or the Intelligence Vados. There's really 4 units that you have that you can link with. If not, you're barely sharing 2 links with anybody else in the game. It's just that links are way too unique to be a widespread, use character. So they're very, very limited to the teams that they're on. Doesn't mean that they're bad. They're fantastic when they're on those teams. They're fantastic when they have those linking partners. But they are limited in that regard. One unit that's somewhat limited, but not that much, is this LR Baby. Now, when I say limited, is you have to be fighting Hybrid Saiyans, and you have to be fighting Pure Saiyans if you want to really maximize this guy's potential. Now, unfortunately, there's really only like 1 or 2 events that have Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans in the same turn, so you're not going to be seeing Baby's full potential very often, but there are a ton of Hybrid Saiyans and Pure Saiyans that you're going to be able to fight, so he will gain some type of attack boost. This dude's still phenomenal. He can hit very hard. He lowers attack. His defense is pretty good, and he's got the mechanic where he can turn into Giant Ape, so pretty good all around. Again, the drawback is the fact that he does need specific units to really show his strength, and if he's facing extreme units, he's not really that impressive. One guy who's very impressive still to this day at this age, LR Bojack, old unit, still strong as hell, going to be even stronger, and I might even move him up higher when the Strength Bojack comes out, but he's not out yet. This is a global tier list, so we're going to put him on the Grand Kai tier for now. This guy gives himself more stats with more HP and more attack with less HP, right? More defense with more HP, more defense with less HP, more attack with more HP. If you're doing his 18 key, then perfect, because you're gaining 40% attack for all extreme class allies. The problem is his links. He doesn't have a lot of people that he can really link up with. Galactic Warriors, kind of a dead link, unless if you're next to that Strength Bojack or, the new Zangia and stuff like that. But again, this is global, so they don't exist yet. So right now, his links are very hard to activate. You really need just like the physical Bojack from the World Tournament, which not a lot of people have. But even then, he's good all-rounder. You just have to have a lot of support now in the current state of the game. In the future, it's going to be a little bit easier. Now, a guy who's technically gone to the future and back. We're talking, of course, of Goku Black and Zamasu. Still fantastic to this day. They are very, very good on longer events. Shorter events, they can get, the tar beat out of them, unfortunately. I do love the heal mechanic, 15%. I do love that they gain attack as they get hit, but they also gain defense and whatnot. So they're very, very strong. The thing that really makes up for the fact that they don't really have defense to start off, or attack to start off for that matter, is their links. God tier links. Some of the best. There's a lot of Rosés and Goku Blacks and Zamasu and stuff like that, that their links are just so perfect with each other. And that's why I have him in the Grand Kai tier, even though they are such an old unit. Another guy who I think I'm moving up to the Grand Kai tier is this LR Frieza. LR Frieza, full power, very, very strong. Hits extremely powerfully. Also is fantastic linking with all the other Wicked Bloodline type characters. Very, very good links. They share almost all links together, which is great. I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, this guy does get stronger the less HP you have, and he's at his strongest when you're below 30% HP. That's almost never going to happen. If you are below 30% HP, you do not want to stay there for that long. You're not going to be playing the fight at 30% HP because you will die. So it's kind of a catch-22. The events where you can get low enough to go to 30% HP means that if you are below 30% HP, you'll probably die if you stay at 30% HP. So he's never going to get his full bonus of stats, which is kind of unfortunate. But that doesn't mean that he's not strong, even without those, added attack and whatnot. Here is a very unique unit right here. Movie Boss Broly, the Broly Trio. The reason why they're in the Grand Kai tier and not higher is because of their links and what their name is, Broly. If they were a Goku, they would be one of the best units in the game because you can choose how you want to play him. Do you want him to dodge every attack in the game? Do you want him to, or them, I should say, to buff the attack of your allies? Do you want them to buff the defense of the allies? Do you want them to do a ridiculous amount of damage? You choose. It's a choose your own adventure with this Broly trio. So I'm absolutely in love with them. Unfortunately, their links suck, and they're not on many categories. That's a big drawback to them. Big drawback. Their links are not good. They don't have many units that they link up with at all. If there were more, then I would definitely put them up higher. But now, right now, I got to put them in the Grand Kai tier. Moving on up, let's go to the Supreme Kai tier with Intelligence God Goku. This guy is just, again, a great all-arounder. He kind of reminds me of Physical Bardock when he first came out, where he wasn't like top tier in any metric, but he's just like good everywhere, right? If you build a team around him, he's very good offensively. He's good defensively. Everything that he does, including his kit, is solid. Being able to pump out that damage for the first 7 turns, and then even then, he's still good after those 7 turns. He's not going to be terrible, and his links are pretty solid, and his super attacks look pretty good. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the God form Goku, I still think that this card is pretty dope. So God Goku, I do believe, is fine being in the Supreme Kai tier. Doesn't really need to be any higher. There's just LRs that do more than this God Goku, but I will put him right here. Next up, who I'm going to put right here, Physical Cell is definitely better than, what he was in the past. In the past, he used to be one of the worst LRs in the game, and now with those link level 10s, dude, the amount of damage that he can punch out, even if he doesn't have a lot of enemies, his defense is very solid. You can gain back health. Like, he just does a lot. AoE attack. He just does a lot. So very, very happy for this Cell. He's gotten a lot better than what he used to be. And I kind of dig him at this, Supreme Kai tier. I think he does deserve to be here. Now, next up, it's a little unique. It's a little niche. The androids. The androids. I would put them higher if they did better in more categories. They're really only built for androids categories. They're phenomenal on androids categories. They're insane on the android category, but they're very limited. You can only really use them on the android category. And that, to me, makes it so I have to put them on the Supreme Kai tier. I can't put them any higher. They don't link that well outside of other androids. They also kind of don't fit any criteria on other categories. So I'm going to leave them on Supreme Kai tier for now. I don't feel fantastic about it. But I'm going to leave them there for now. And, we're going to go with the flow on this one. We're going to go with the flow. 2 more that we're going to go with the flow. 2 more being these guys. I feel like the reason why I'm putting them on the Supreme Kai tier, and I'm kind of convincing myself, even though the 3-year anniversary units are so good, okay? This Vegito is so good still. And they're good overall on a ton of different categories. They're fantastic. And once they transform, they're insane. But I would say that on their own categories, the androids are probably better on the, as a single unit on an android's team, if you build everything around it, they're probably slightly better than these guys, than the Goku Vegeta. But the Goku Vegeta could just fit on so many different more teams and always be sitting at, 120%, 130% or whatever until they transform. So I kind of see them as being similar in that regard. And then the Physical Cell, again, if he can link with so many other cells, he's just fantastic. The God Goku, you can link him with so many different Super Saiyans and Pure Saiyans and stuff like that. So I'm going to have them here as well as the 3 anniversary Gogeta, the Goku Vegeta Super Saiyan Angel from the Janemba movie. I'm going to have them here as well because they fit the same slot as this Vegito, as this Goku Vegeta. They're just great all-around characters. They could do damage, they could defend. Once they transform, they're top tier. But I think all these guys are much better now than what they were. Like the link level system helped all of these guys out tremendously, in my opinion. Though I don't know. I don't feel 1000% about this, but we're gonna keep it rocking. God of Destruction tier. We're moving on up. First guy that has to be on it is the LR Broly. Some people think that he should go higher, but the lack of defense, he's only at 100% defense. That's a big drawback. He can do ridiculous amounts of damage, and his active skill allows him to do ridiculous amounts of damage. His transformation allows him to do ridiculous amounts of damage. But unfortunately, the lack of defense really holds him back. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is going to be on this tier as well. He's amazing. He can grab orbs so easily, like it's not even funny. Rainbow orbs are just his best friend. His active skill is so easy to do, fantastic. And he starts off with defense, which is really, really great. But his problem is his leader skill. Vegeta's family needs help, needs more Vegetas, needs more Trunks, needs more other units that aren't Vegeta and Trunks. So leader skill is not that great, but he's still very, very solid. Opposite to him is Super Saiyan 4 Goku. His leader skill is fantastic. Unfortunately, he does not start with defense, but what he does do is gain 100% defense on his super attack, making it very easy for him to defend. If he gets hit before he super attacks, though, that is a whole different story. Not good at all. But this guy is the same as the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. They're two sides of the same coin, so both of them are fantastic and deserve to be here. Another unit that I think deserves to be there is, where the heck are they? Goku Frieza. Goku Frieza can still do absolutely insane amounts of damage. I think they can actually do more damage now than they could in the past. Unfortunately, one drawback to them is the link level update did hurt them a little bit because you can't stack over in a flash or turn them into power anymore. You're just going to get it from one character. So you are losing a little bit of ki. But if you could build a team around them, make sure you're lowering the attack before they get the super attack off, they can still hit unbelievable amounts of damage. And if they attack before they get hit, then they can be somewhat defensive, right? They just need to be able to attack. Doesn't have to be a super attack. They just have to be able to attack. So I'm going to leave them on the God of Destruction tier. LR Rose is also going to be on the God of Destruction tier. This dude can do insane amounts of damage. Unfortunately, he was also hit by the link level update, not being able to stack those keys like he could before. But again, bring orb changers or just bring good supports, then he's going to be able to get that 24 ki, not that difficult at all. He does greatly raise his defense on his super attack, which is good. But if he gets hit first, then he gets absolutely blasted, which is bad. Again, his link set is God tier, like the other Goku Black and the Zamasus and stuff like that, Rosés and whatnot. So I don't really have a problem with having him in the God of Destruction tier. Let's move on up to the God Angel tier, and we gotta put the homie Super Saiyan Goku, Spirit Bomb Goku, Gumku, as some people like to refer to him. He's fantastic. You know, he can get insane amounts of damage. He really loves being next to Super Saiyans. If he can do that, then this dude's unbelievable. His defense gets pretty good. His leader skill is meh. He's a Super Saiyan lead, but only 130%, but you don't really care about that. His link set is great. He's Orb Changer. He does a ton of stuff. He's a fantastic unit. Absolutely love that guy. Another unit I absolutely love, who I rainbowed and level 10 linked up, is this Super Saiyan Gohan. Once he's rainbowed and level 10 links, he's doing minimum 4 million attack stats. Like, it's actually insane. He's stacking up his defense. If you're able to transform him into the Super Saiyan 2, he's one of the hardest hitters in the game at that point. His defense is fantastic still. So this guy is incredible. It just takes him, a few turns to be able to get to a very, very good place. Turn 1, he is susceptible to getting hit very hard on SBR and ESBR, but after 2 to 3 turns, he's kind of in a good place. Same thing with these guys, the LR Go Bros. Takes a few turns, 2 to 3 turns, for them to be in a good place, but they're still one of the most consistent, highest rate of damage cards in the game. Not single hits, though they can do ridiculous single hit damage, 10 million attacks, that's easy. The fact that they can super 2 to 3 times, every single turn is what makes them pump out so much damage so quickly. And once they are able to, attack a number of turns, then their defense is over 200%. They'll be fine. They'll be okay. No problems with the Go Bros. And then their active skill, can do a lot of damage as well. The Kale and Caulifla, listen, these girls, to me, are still one of, if not the best defensive unit in the game. People, they quickly forget that they stack their dodge until they get to 66% dodge. They're also stacking their defense, and they're attacking multiple times, kind of like the Go Bros, every single turn, so they can stack their defense very quickly. They can stack their dodge very quickly. 66% dodge. Keep in mind, Lrui Goku is 70% dodge, and that's only for the first few turns. After that, he loses that. They still stick at 66%. He drops down to 50%. So, Kale and Caulifla, insane. You do have to build a team around them for them to do a lot of damage. If not, they're going to be looking at one close to 2 million attack stats. They do that multiple times, though, so that's important to note. But, yeah, these girls are fantastic. LR Cell is also fantastic. Again, glow up, big glow up from the Link level update. This dude can defend very well. He can hit very, very hard. You don't need to be looking at a lot of units for him to hit hard, though it does help. Once he transforms, again, he's like the Gohan. He can hit insanely hard. He can defend very well. His links are great for cell-type units, which there are a bunch to use. So this guy's incredible. You can also just run him with nothing but androids, and he'll be fine as well. Heals, does a bunch of stuff. I do like this card. And the restriction is annoying on his transformation, but that does happen sometimes where you drop below 30% HP. I do like that you don't need to bring anybody. You don't need to do this, that, and the third. You just, if you get unlucky and you drop below health, then boom, you go back up. So that's not too bad. Let's move on to the Grand Priest tier. New units. Blue Boys are on this tier. These guys are phenomenal. You give them rainbow orbs, they show you the world. Their link set is fantastic for tournament power type characters. So we got to put them in the Grand Priest tier. Now, you do have to build teams around them for them to get to their strongest. So that's why they're not in the Zeno tier. But these guys are absolutely amazing. And there's nobody else like them, right? There's no Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta in the game. So these dudes are just, they can link well with a Blue Goku or a Blue Vegeta, which is great. You can put them together and they're just going to be able to do an insane amount of damage. Who else can do an insane amount of damage? Well, you're looking at the LR Strength Gogeta, of course. He can do an insane amount of damage. Now, it does take him a little bit to get going. The same thing with the Vegito. They take a bit. But this guy does attacks effective against all. So he's just going to be able to blast anybody. His defense does suck for the first few turns. I will give you that. But once he goes blue, he's going to be able to start stacking attack and defense, kind of like the Go Bros, kind of like Kale and Caulifla. And once that happens, GG, this guy's insane. He's going to be able to attack so hard. He's going to be able to defend so well. The Blue Fusions they're just built right for long events. They're some of the best units in the game for long events. And speaking about the Vegito, there he is. He does indeed go into the Grand Priest tier. Again, he does everything that the Gogeta does, but instead of having the attacks effective, he does a second super attack. So, like, that's insane. His attack stats, 4, 5, 6, 7 million, right? And then he's got a guaranteed second one doing the 12 key. So they can do ungodly amounts of damage. Once they're fully stacked up on their passive, then they're fine taking super attacks. But it's even better if they're able to super attack first, because they're going to raise that defense and all that stuff. So they're not going to be able to take any damage, and they're going to be just busting out so much damage. And their finishing screen is just gorgeous. So absolutely love those Blue Boys. And I absolutely love this Lrui Goku. He's fantastic. If you're dodging, he's gaining stats. 70% chance to dodge. That's a big chance to dodge. Even 50% chance to dodge. Good chance to dodge. His stats will go high once he's fully stacked up. Now, unfortunately, if you're not fully stacked up and you get hit, he can get hit hard. That is the risk that you're playing with this UI Goku. You want to put him in danger early so you can stack up that passive. It is more difficult to achieve than someone like the Blue Fusions, than someone like the Go Bros, than someone like the Kale and Caulifla, because you're actively putting him in harm's way, and he has to dodge. You can get unlucky, and he just doesn't increase that passive enough, and then you just get worked later on. So it is a risk. But even then, he does a lot of damage. He links very well, and he's just a damn cool unit to use. Another damn cool unit to use, come on, you already know, the Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta. This dude is an absolute beast of a boy. I love this guy. The fact that he can do ridiculous amount of damage, that unit, the partner super attack is amazing. It's just a fantastic thing. And his OST. I mean, it's the God tier OST. The thing that I do not like about him, though, is he does not gain his defense and attack immediately on getting his orbs. You have to super attack. And I talked to Hydros about this because I thought it was a bug at first. But he pretty much said, like, no, this is how it's intended. They just worded the passive poorly. The passive says that he gains the attack and defense when he grabs those orbs. That's not really how it works. It's once he grabs those orbs and then super attacks, that's when he gains the defense. So a little unfortunate, but even still, he's a fantastic unit. Absolutely love to use that guy. Let's move on up to Yamateer. LR Bootanks, I do believe, is one of the best LRs in the entire game. I honestly think he's the best LR in the game, but I'm not confident enough to put him on an even higher tier. I'm going to leave him on the Yamateer. Now, the reason for that is he's raising his defense on his 18 key, raising his attack on his 12 key. Majins are some of the best recipients of the link level update. They have gotten such a massive improvement, and he is no different. This guy is insane. And what's even crazier is the fact that he gains so much key on type orbs that he's almost always going to be able to 18 key. He's almost always going to be able to get that second super attack off, which is going to be that 12 key. So his stats skyrocket fast. And then when he goes into Buhan, forget about it. The amount of damage that this dude does on my account at 55% is ungodly, okay? Another one that's ungodly is this Strength Goku Vegeta Angel. Once they turn into Vegito, good lord, the counters are incredible. But even when they're in their Goku Vegeta, the damage reduction, the damage, the additional, the crit, they do everything. And then in the Vegito, when they're able to tell where that super attack is coming for 10 turns and they're getting that 50% HP back, it's absolutely insane. So those two are top tier. And one more that's top tier. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. He does what the Vegeta doesn't. As soon as he grabs those orbs, his attack and defense skyrockets. So that means it doesn't matter if he gets hit before or after he super attacks. He will be fine. He will be fine. And this guy hits so hard and is great defensively, even if he didn't have an active skill or a second half to his passive. But that's the cherry on top, okay? If you have that movie hero Goku on your team, is it Super Saiyan Goku or movie hero Goku? Whatever it is, I believe it's movie hero Goku. If you have that on your team, just has to be on your team, doesn't have to be attacking, and you drop below 58% HP, GG. GG, you're doing 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, 25 million damage. That's what you're doing. The Gohan is one of the highest single nuking units in the game today. And that's saying something, because there's some OP units in the game. And that is my LR tier list. If you have any disagreements, let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear them. Please don't be single word answers like you're dumb or something like that, or bad, because you just gonna get flamed. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, that's another flame that we're gonna do. We're gonna be flaming you for not being a part of the club. So gently rub that sub button, gingerly ring that bell button, lovingly kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodik. See y'all in the next video.